My loves, this is part 2 in our relationship reflection series, if 2 can be a series. I'm going to ask you some questions today that have to do with compassion and truth. This is part of the quarterly relationship reflection that we do in the Heart-Centered Planner. And it's obviously more than a planner. It's part calendar meets therapist. It's how to manage your time and clean up the dark stuff in the basement of your psyche. It's the system that'll change your life. Here we go. So here's the guiding question. This is one of my favorite questions in the whole planner system. How can I love my way through? I love it. I want to get in the habit, the mindful, wide awake, alert, conscious habit of asking myself that question when I wake up and I feel residue from the astral plane and things just feel gooey and emotionally goopy. I want to ask myself this question when I have to record a response to somebody in a voice memo for the 3rd time because I don't want to sound too edgy. I want to just pour some Manuka honey on things. I want to ask myself this question when I'm really in the bind moments with my man and my kid. How can I love my way through this? I think the mind, we go to, I want to get through this. And really what we're saying is I want to get out of this pain, which of course, naturally, I think if we asked ourselves, how can I love my way through this? It's how can I get through this pain really consciously so I'm transmuting it and getting through it and being a blessing for everybody involved. But yeah, may that consciousness be for all of us. So I've got 5 questions that I'm going to ask you that we ask ourselves every 3 months. Hopefully you're going to be asking yourself these questions every quarter because you're part of the planner system and the membership. First question is, where in my relationships to myself and others is there vitality and strength? So there's a few layers in this. And you can be putting pencil to paper. You just keep walking or cooking dinner and think this through. I mean, I just want to get these questions into your psyche, right? Like always my vision with every recording, with every episode, every conversation is, I just want to get these little tiny orbs of light into your mind. And then you can attend to them. You put your mind on these little flecks of light and they glow more. And you start to see things you didn't see before. Okay, so where in your relationships to yourself and to others is there vitality and strength? So how I would define vitality and strength: emotional intimacy. Like you are going to the places, you are speaking it. Where is there generosity? How are you being generous to yourself with all of the resources for self-care? How are you being generous to other people? Where are you experiencing generosity? So this is just as much about receiving and being receptive as it is giving, right? It's an infinity loop. All relationships are really just infinity loops. If we saw our interactions as this golden infinity loop, it's coming out of your heart center horizontally. It's coming out from you and it's connecting to the person 5 feet in front of you or 500,000 miles away from you through your thoughts. And what you send to them goes out to them and it loops right back around through your heart, through your back. Anyway, it's all infinity loops. Okay, where in your relationships to yourself and to others is there vitality and strength? That includes where are you feeling really supported? How are you being super supportive because you're so amazing? Where is there just acceptance? Where is there joy? You just take a breath and then maybe you want to hit pause and think about it, or just keep walking. I like cooking dinner with you. Relationships to yourself, how you treat yourself, and to others, vitality and strength. That's really what we're going for here on the planet, living heart-centered lives vitality, life force, prana, strength, tenacity, resilience, clarity of mind. Getting better all the time. Okay, next question. Relationship reflection. I put this in 3 different categories. There's a question for me, as in you. There's a question for we, as in some of us. And there's a question for the world. So we're in the me category. In what ways can I be more truthful and compassionate with myself? So you're asking this question of yourself, about yourself. In what ways, close your eyes if you can. In what ways can I be more truthful and compassionate with myself? Okay, I'm actually going to press pause right now. You're not going to notice because I'm going to be back in a nanosecond because of recording magic. I'm going to press pause. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to think about this answer myself. I'll get right back to you. I got it. Okay. So the ways that I could be more truthful with myself, this is more of a means to being more truthful with myself. One is I could do more yoga nidra. So yoga nidra is where we are in shavasana pose, corpse pose. We're just lying down, being actively still. So the mind is alert, but we are really in receptive mode. Of course, lots of times when you get in this mode, in this position, you fall asleep. The idea is not to be asleep. Yoga Nidra is really about wakeful rest, right? So I think if I gave myself more time, see, look at my language. There's always just like a little kind of subtle punishing around rest. If I gave myself, I don't have to give myself. It's just there. If I just did it, I don't have to earn it. If I just got into Yoga Nidra more, receptivity, pose, position, I would hear the truth of my being more easily. I'd hear what my body needs. I'd hear like, what's the theme under the day? What's really going on in my mind? Okay, so that's my answer for a way that I can be more truthful. And then my answer for how can I be more compassionate with myself, for me, has to do with leadership. So as someone who's leading a team of, there's about 10 of us right now, and I have some great co-leaders on this team, some really strong women, but you know, it's my name on the parking spot. I will often attend to be aware of their stress levels and let them know, like I see, you're spinning plates. We've got so many things going on. We're trying to do 8 months of work in 8 weeks because we want a 10x. So I get it. It's okay. This ball dropped here and you really need to just super unplug on Saturday. I feel a lot of, it's not faux motivate people block. It is, yeah, I'm leading with love. And I don't always give myself the same compassion of like, yeah, you're a little stressed because we're doing 8 months of work in about 8 to 12 weeks. I, in the past, have just seen myself as impervious to stress. And sisters and brothers, it is all too much. So I just need to say, of course, Danielle, of course you feel like you're a little short and you're a little stretched. I am a little short. I'm only 5'5". And I could do more stretching. But of course you feel a little on edge because of all the things and the time sensitivities, and you're packing to go to Egypt and all those things. So that's a way I could be more compassionate with myself. How about you? Okay, let me pop in before we go to the next question and talk to you about some divine timing. So if you want to have the Heart-Centered Planner, you know, you can get a weekly edition or the daily edition. We also have undated, and they're shipping everywhere in the world, expedited for only $9. If you want to have those in your hands for early January, we can start the new year together, even though, you know, if you've been hanging out with me, January 1, my loves, it is not the actual new year. It is made up Gregorian calendar stuff that I bet if you pay attention to, you do not really feel in sync with. I have never. It took me about 7 years to figure this out. I do not want to be new you, new year, new me, new nothing in January. I want to like recapitulate and I want to keep my fun bun up and I want to stay cozy. New Year is at the end of January this year. Lunar New Year, because it's in sync with the seasons and the planets, changes every year. If you want to have this beautiful life design system printed and in your hands for yourself, your teams, your friends, you need to have your order in by October 17th. Because I take the orders and then I call my printer and I say, go. They print them, they start shipping them. So you may as well order now for peace of mind and nervous system balancing for all of us. October 17th gets you the planners for the first week of January, maybe even sooner. But we got lots of time because of Lunar New Year, but not so much time because I got to get these to print. Now there's an option here to know about. If you are interested in bulk, so we've had a lot of people coming forward saying, do you give me a deal if I get all my Christmas shopping done, if I buy these for my team, or I'm doing hostess gifts, all those things? Absolutely, of course. If you want to do a bulk order, it's up to 40% off. So regular shopping, head to daniellelaporte.com/shop. And of course, because you're a podcast listener, I'm always giving you the deals. At checkout, you key in the code PODPLANNER10. That's PODPLANNER10, PODPLANNER10 at checkout. You get 10% off your entire order. If you are a one and done, you want these for your team, you want them for your mastermind group, your church, daniellelaporte.com/planner-bulk, planner-bulk, and you let us know what you're looking for, and we will hook you up with love. Okay, let's shift gears. Same question, new group. And then just a little bit of context here. So when we're doing this in the Heart-Centered Planner, whether you're doing the weekly or the daily, or you got the undated, or you're a digital person, or you're just coming along for the ride because you're in the membership and you're getting all of these questions in the Sunday emails I send out, or you have no desire whatsoever to have another day planner system, and you're just going to have this podcast to refer to, or you're going to write this in your journal now. These answers don't have to be long. I mean, I'm giving you my answers and I'm giving you all the nuances and all the stuff, but this could be 3 sentences. It could be 5 words. You're just checking in this quarter or the end of the week. We're just stirring up more light to bring some healing to the tough spots. And we're trying to create more habits around loving kindness for ourselves and others. So the context is we. In what ways can I be more truthful and compassionate with others? In what ways can I be more truthful, honest, genuine, authentic, and compassionate? Compassion is merciful, gentle, understanding, just loving kindness with others. And that includes everybody. That includes all the kingdoms. That includes your in-laws and the animal kingdom and all the different ways of seeing life and political parties and conspiracy and truth and people from your past and people that are easy to love, so easy to love because we resonate. We remind each other of who we are, so much like me, and people that we do not relate to. Okay, so how can you be more truthful and compassionate with others? Just give me a second and I'll be right back with my answer. Okay, I got it. I'm going to give you a really recent, pretty intimate marriage-related answer. So the way that I actually have been more truthful and compassionate with my guy, it's still funny to call him my husband because we've only been married a few months, is I have wanted, when I have a difficult feeling or I want to correct something or I just want to get my needs met, and sometimes it's from that really needy place, and sometimes it's just like healthy, basic communication 101. So I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And because sometimes I think I'm an evil queen instead of a benevolent queen of love, I get really quiet. I shut down. I go into a freeze response. And then I don't communicate. And not communicating is not the way to be more truthful with anybody. So one thing I've been doing with my man is to say, I really want to be close. So I'm going to tell you this. So he knows right away, like it's coming from love, for love. And then I can say the thing. And I say the thing not to correct his behavior, but I let him know why I need the thing to change. So the example is, okay, I really want to be connected. So I'm going to tell you this, that when you're late to pick me up, I feel like, actually, I feel furious inside. Is really what it is. I was going to try and make it more deep and psychologically aware. Like, I feel abandoned. This really triggers my, but actually, I just feel pissed sometimes. And lots of times, like, I'll tell you what's really going on. What's really going on is we had this big argument. We had more than an argument. We had like a rupture recently, and we took a few days off, which is easy because, we live in separate apartments. We live 2 blocks apart. And I know lots of you are thinking, why? Or, oh, that sounds ideal. We live 2 blocks apart, in case you've missed it in another conversation, because we both have sons that we love and adore, and we're not going to disrupt that situation. My kid's actually getting ready to move out. And I think my man and I, he has a name. His name is Will. Will and I will probably keep having 2 places for a long time because I love it. I love, 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 love when we're together. And I just love like a couple nights, just like super chill solo. I get my practices together. Anyway, you get the idea. Where was I going with that? Hold on. Right, the rupture. So we were really pissed off with each other. It was pretty serious. And it's easy to take space when you have the physical space. And we weren't really super chatty for like a couple days. I think things were actually pretty terse on text. And then we softened, and then it was time to get back together. And we are so looking forward to getting back together. And I love it when my man makes the plans. And he said, I'll pick you up at 5:30. I made dinner reservations for the restaurant just down the street and can't wait to see you. And 5:30 comes and he's not here. And I can see the restaurant from my street. I'm going to walk down. We're going to be on time. And I text him and I say, are we confused? Are you meeting me at the restaurant? I know he's not confused, but I'm giving him an out, right? And he'd forgotten. He lost track of time. Actually, more accurately, he didn't forget. He just lost track of time because, and I have his permission to tell you all the things, because Will has a special ADHD brain and will get on these hyper-focus projects and quite literally just is in a different dimension. And this was not the best day to go hyper-focus and be late for me. Any other day, I'm like, whatevs, babe, totes. I'll meet you at the restaurant or whatever. But things had been pretty tender and implosive prior. So he should have been on time. And we got to the restaurant, and instead of falling into his arms and having a big smooch, classic Will kiss, I was just like, hey. Not just, hey, are you late? But we lost our reservation because we were more than 15 minutes late. I didn't say it like that. I was fuming inside, but I wanted to just love on him so intensely that the compromise I could come up with, the most enlightened thing I could do was just be like, hi, not give him shit, but I couldn't plant one on him either. And I just said, babe, you need to set alarms for yourself. And that, in that moment, was truthful and compassionate for me. Like, I took his special brain into consideration. There was no blame. It was just a request that was going to be really good for both of us in the future. Okay, so how about you? In what ways can you be more truthful and compassionate with others? It might be ways of communicating. It might be how frequently you check in. It could be just some 4-6-8 breathing. before you say the thing. It could be asking the really simple question before you speak. What do we have in common? And how can I love my way through this? Okay, the next question. It's the same question, but it's a different dominion. So now we look at the world. We go from me to we to the world. So in what ways can I be more truthful and compassionate with the collective? This is such an on-time question right now with all the political stuff that's not just going on in the United States, but there's elections happening everywhere, and there's this divisiveness that is just, it's working its way through every kitchen in every country. So by the collective, we're talking about other religions, other families, other gangs, other tribes, other political parties, people who see things differently than you, people who see things the same as you, and then one day they have a different opinion, and you're just like, whoa, I thought you were awake. Now you're being all woke. I think so many of us, unless you're in a monastery, are in fight-flight mode, either consciously or unconsciously. And really, we're just walking through the world looking for a fight, which is to say, the ego wants to stir shit up to have us play small. But really, 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 what the ego, the unhealed self, the inner child, the wounded stuff is really looking for is love. All those fights that we are creating, taking the bait on, are really opportunities to ask yourself, actually, how can I be more truthful and compassionate right now? Okay, last question. So again, context. This is the relationship reflection. This is just one part of it that we do quarterly, heart-centered planning system. This is last question, specifically on the left-hand page. What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to let go of? How can I bless and release that? What do I need to stop doing? And how can I bless and release that? And this is in the context of relationships. We need to stop thinking that we're separate. We need to stop having conversations when we're hungry. I'm sorry for all the things I said when I had low blood sugar. And then we keep in mind that you cannot let go of something that you are trying to aggressively let go of, because that's actually push-pull hanging on to it. You have to bless it. You have to thank it for what it taught you. You have to thank it for showing up. And then you say, we're complete. You bless it and you release it. And that can be behaviors of your own. It can be thought forms. It can be scenes, like vignettes you have in your mind of the thing that the person said to you that one time. It could be the breakup story. It could be seeing the person you wanted to be with other people. Having that on replay is not good for anybody. Bless it. Bless the vignettes. Release them. Bless the behaviors. Release them. Your behavior, their behavior. Bless all the things you do to yourself and, of course, to others that are, not the vibration of loving kindness. And then you know what you can really, really bless and release? Any criticism and judgment you have to yourself for doing that. And that, my loves, is the relationship reflection. In the heart-centered way, no one is left behind. All right, my loves, if you want the first part of the relationship reflection questions, just go back and listen to last week's episode, which is number 135, and we did part 1. If you are loving what I'm putting out, please subscribe to the podcast, and then you get a little alert, and that makes me really, really happy because I feel close to God, and I feel really useful doing this. And if it's working for you in any way, then, just do the things we do. Subscribe, leave a review, or go buy 9,000 heart-centered day planners. so we can just help people get a little more balanced and a little more sane in these crazy times. I will see you really very soon. Question to leave you with: how can you love your way through? Always with love, Danielle. Thank you so much for listening, for feeling, for spreading the word. With love.